Alright guys, well thanks for watching another video. As you can tell today, once again, we'll be talking about bags. The last video I did was more of a everyday carry bag. It's a bag that you can just have with you, just to carry some stuff that you may need throughout your day. But today though, we're talking about a little bit of a different topic. The bag that I have with me today is more of a hunting style bag, more of a, I don't like to use the word because it's used so much, but it's more of it's a tactical bag. And I want to talk about the uses for it, both related to hunting, but also having to use it in some possibly really bad scenarios. Today's July 5th, and we just got done celebrating our Independence Day yesterday. And if we look back and we think about the young men who fought for our rights in this country, they were young men taking their deer rifles and going up against the greatest military force the world had ever seen. Well, we take a lot of pride as American gun owners, as American hunters, of being that line of defense, that we're the reason that other nations don't try to invade, they don't try to take us over, because they know that we are armed and we are ready to defend life, liberty, and property. But I want to take a little bit of time though to focus on some really important things. I mean, that's absolutely one of the greatest things about America, that we are willing to fight and even die for our beliefs and our freedom. But we can't just fixate on rifles and scopes and silencers and all of these things. If we really want to be prepared, whether that's hunting in the field, or if you are trying to be prepared to protect your family and your religious beliefs, then you have to look outside of just the guns. You've also got to start looking at equipment and how you're going to carry that equipment in very real world scenarios. I hope and pray that it doesn't happen, but there's a possibility that one day your hometown will be taken over by some great force, some great threat. And in that time, you may be focused on just trying to get your family to safety, to get your wife and your child to safety, to where they are going to be taken care of. But there may come a time though, whenever you got to go and you got to take your town, you've got to take your state, you've got to take your country back. And so look at this today as a bag of what can I also have if I'm going hunting. I've got a few buddies who are going to be elk hunting this year, so they may want to watch this and get some ideas of some things to have on hand. But also, if you want to be prepared, if you want to be able to protect your family, if you want to be able to defend your freedom, there's going to be some things that you have to keep in mind and some equipment that you're going to have on hand. So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about what's in my bag. All right, so first things first. Of course, I've got my rifle. I've got my just my AR-15 here. It's got a scope on it. It's got a silencer, and I'm using a 77 grain Sierra open tip match. But once again, the video is not about this. I was just going to let you know in case any of you were wondering. So I'm going to set this to the side and let's talk about the gear I actually have on hand. Now, once again, this is kind of somewhat of a hunting slash, you know, fill in the blank. So some things you may carry. This is my bino pack. I have it with me all of the time. It's made by Alaskan Guide Creations. And if you're a hunter, especially if you hunt places where you can see a lot of ground, having the ability to observe and have good quality glass, these are some Leupold BX4s, is a great advantage to you. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time talking about it, but in these situations, if you're hunting, of course, or if you're doing something else, the ability to see is gonna be huge. So being able to carry a set of binoculars on you is a big deal. I also have a rangefinder, which is useful for a number of things. One, if you're doing land navigation, like with a compass, then you can use a rangefinder to actually measure your distances to get really precise, but also, of course, you can use it for shooting too. Also, in the back of this, I'm not going to show you, but I've got a Right in the Rain notepad, and it's good once again for land navigation if you're needing to shoot a bearing. If you don't know how to do that, well, you know, you can learn. Also, as you can see, I've got an extra mag right here. Once again, if I'm hunting, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but if you're hog hunting though, there'll be times whenever you need to do a reload, so that's not too far outside of the possibilities. But of course, if you're doing something else, you want to have a mag close by that you can grab to reload. I've also got a radio here. This is a bow thing. I just recently got my ham radio license, so having a form of communication other than a cell phone is huge. So that's kind of on my main line stuff. I also have I have a call in here, and then in addition to that, I've got a lens cleaning cloth that's in this pocket right here, so I can clean my lenses on my binoculars, my scope, things like that. So let's go ahead and transition to the bag though. The backpack is an ATS Raid II. ATS is a great company. Not a lot of people know about them, so I'm trying to kind of get more people to know about just how good of a company they are. But ATS makes really good quality American-made nylon gear. This bag, it was cut, sewn, stitched, made in Kentucky, and they've got a great warranty. That's basically it's lifetime under any circumstances, even if it's your fault and you do something stupid. But this bag is made out of a 500D Cordura nylon. Extremely durable. They come in several different colors, but you know, if you're out in the woods, have some kind of camo pattern or some kind of tans or greens, even gray to an extent. But this bag is really, really nice. I'm trying to remember the capacity of it. I don't know. I don't know if it's 2,500, but you need a bag, whatever it's going to be. It's going to have to be kind of dependent upon what you're doing. So in this case, this is more of a 24, 36 hour type setup. This is my hunting bag, so I use it for hunting all the time. So if you're going to be going out, you know, for a day hunt, this usually can hold just about everything I need. But right now I kind of have it set up as a semi-hunting, you know, fill in the blank type situation. And if you think about it, if you can't go to the grocery store and buy meat, you'll probably be doing a lot of hunting. So this bag, once again, it's kind of more of a, you may be able to get 3 days out of it, but you're kind of stretching, especially depending on the kind of equipment that you're going to bring. But this is what I've got. So let's talk really quickly about what I have on the outside. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer and let's go through this. All right, guys, so let's go through this bag. On the outside, first and foremost, you can see I've got a few attachments. Number one, I've got a med kit right here. Always have a med kit. This goes with me whether I'm hunting, I'm going to the range, anything. Always carry a tourniquet, carry quick caught gauze. I've got some gloves in there just in case, but always carry a med kit. This is made by ATS as well. You can rip it out, it's Velcro. So keep that somewhere where it's accessible. You don't want to have to be digging through your bag trying to get your medical equipment if it's an emergency, because seconds count when somebody's bleeding. On this other side here, I've just got kind of a utility pouch, and I've got some things that I want to access semi-quickly, but it's not necessarily an emergency. Number one, a headlamp if you need it. This is the same headlamp. You're going to see a lot of similarity between this and my other bag, just because there's a lot of stuff that you need to have just on a daily basis, no matter what you're doing. But I've got a headlamp here if you need to get it. I've got my water filter. So there's a Sawyer water filter. Always carry a way to filter out your water. It's July right now in Oklahoma. It's hot, it's humid, and so you can get dehydrated really quickly. So make sure you have plenty of water. And also in here I've got a fire starter. You never know whenever you may need a fire for whatever reason, cook food, get warm, signal somebody, carry a way to make fire. Once again, this is for whether you're hunting or anything else you're doing. Have a headlamp, have water, have a way to start a fire. And I've just got a carabiner. Just never know whenever one of these things may come in handy. But that's what I keep in here for semi-quick access. Now, on this side pouch right here, I've got a, trying to get it out, I've got an Nalgene bottle with water. Carry water with you, once again, wherever you go. It's easy to get dehydrated. Whenever I'm hunting, I try to always make sure I keep water with me, even in the winter time, but especially now, you want to have plenty of water, because whenever you're hiking and you're out doing a lot of stuff, you're going to be burning a lot of calories, you're going to be sweating, so you need to have some water. And also I've got a knife. Now this isn't the best knife in the world. I really kind of wish that I had a different one, but you make do with what you have. This is just a SOG seal pup knife. It was super cool in 2012. But anyways, it is a decent knife. It's sturdy, and you just never know whenever you may need one. It's not for, you know, fighting or protection. It's for a tool, so you can use it for different purposes, different reasons along those lines. Now on this other side, I've got a rain jacket. Even though things are pretty dry right now, rain jacket's always nice. Another thing you can do with a rain jacket is you can use it for waterproofing. You can wrap stuff in it if you don't want it to get wet. And you know, just an extra base layer. I know, or an extra layer for warmth. I know it's summertime, but if you get sick and if you're exposed to the elements for a long time, sometimes, you know, 70 degrees can get kind of chilly. So it's always good to have something like this on hand. Then also sunscreen, especially if you're a white boy like me. Always have sunscreen on hand, because sunburns are awful and you don't want to have to deal with that. Okay, so now that I've pretty much covered everything, oh yeah, one last thing. I've got my Garmin Fortrex on the outside, so I can access it really easy. Always have a GPS, have a way to navigate, have several different ways. You're gonna see that I've got not only a Garmin, but I've also got a compass. So you always wanna be able to have a way to determine where you are, get oriented, so you can communicate with other people, for example, your hunting buddy, or people that you may be with. So always have a Garmin Fortrex or some kind of GPS like that with you. All right guys, now let's move on to this front pocket. Inside this front pocket, I'm gonna have a few things that I want very quickly. One is, here's my compass. So not only do I keep my GPS with me, but I have a compass too. This is a Silva. If you don't know how to use a compass, it's not that hard, but just take some time to learn how to use it. The other nice thing is it does have a mirror on it, because this is how this compass it works to be able to read your bearing, but it also works as a great signal mirror. So have a mirror on hand, have a way to signal somebody from a distance if you need to. Also have a Surefire flashlight it's just a nice easy handheld. Toilet paper for obvious reasons. I've got an extra strap for my Garmin if I want to wear it on my arm instead of wearing it on my backpack strap. I've got some eye black, but it's really just used for face paint, because I use this quite a bit whenever I'm coyote hunting. You know, it's nice to have the different colored paint, but honestly, if you smear black on your face and you just kind of create some patterns with it, man, you don't really need much else other than just some eye black. And it's a little bit cheaper than the camo stuff. And I don't know if this one has any sunscreen quality to it, but some of it will though. But anyways, yeah, I have some camo face paint. I've got a composition notebook. This is my data book. I use this to record my dope for different things for my rifles, whether it's my 6.5 Creedmoor or my AR-15. But you can also use it to record information, write data down. I've got my Cryptek jacket. Once again, I know you think it's July. Why would you be carrying a jacket in your bag? Well, the fact of the matter is you just never know. I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I just recommend having a layer. But also, in today's time especially, there are times whenever you need to be able to conceal your position, and you can also use this as a blind. You know, you can hang it up hang it up from some trees, and so it kind of creates a makeshift blind for you like that. And also it works as a thermal barrier, as in if somebody's looking for you and they've got a thermal, you can hang this up. Just be careful not to really touch it and get it warm, and you can stay behind it, and it'll go a long ways to concealing you. The other thing I've gotten here is just kind of a miscellaneous bag. This is actually the same bag that goes in my backpack that I carry every day. I'm not going to go through everything in here because a lot of it's the same, but I've got spare batteries for my different stuff, whether it's my GPS or my weapon light or my handheld flashlight. I've got a charging port, always carry a charging port. Some other important things, I've got some pens and pencils. I've got two Bic lighters wrapped in duct tape. So you always want to make sure that you carry more than just one way to make a fire. So having duct tape, of course, is useful for a number of things. In addition to that, really, other than that, I don't have a whole lot else except for, I don't know, I might add just carrying a different number of ways to write stuff, whether, you know, carrying a pen and pencil. Pencil you can use on your Write in the Rain notepad, which I have in my Bino pack. But you know, you need pockets like this to hold your miscellaneous items so you can be a little bit more organized. This is stuff that I don't have to get necessarily to in an emergency, but it's there and I'm able to be organized whenever I need to get into it. So that's everything for this front flap, this front pocket. Now we're going to get into the main body of the bag. All right, guys. So now we're in our main compartment here, and this is, once again, you're going to see some things that you can use for hunting, but also that you may have to have on hand if you're having to do something else. But first of all, I just want to once again add my my praise to the ATS pack. How good of a job they do building their bag. It's really durable. I've got this thing it's stuffed pretty full, and they use really good quality YKK zippers, so it has no trouble holding everything. I like the clamshell. It flops wide open where you can easily get to everything. You can access everything. It's got MOLLE on the inside right here, so you can see I've got pouches right here. Just once again, really good bag. You can tell the guys who built it really thought about what it was used for and what you need. So first things first, let's go through kind of the boring stuff right here. So I've got a first aid kit. This is the same first aid kit you saw in my other bag video. You know, you can still get infections from minor cuts, minor boo-boos. So carry a first aid kit always. This is an ITS kit, not ATS, ITS. Also in here, I've got it attached inside the bag. I've got paracord. Always carry paracord. There was a guy who watched my video over my other bag, and I was talking to him the other day because he bought a silencer off of me, and he said that his wife went into labor at their house and the baby was born before anybody could get there, so he had to deliver his own kid. And first of all, the baby, the mama, everybody's fine, but he ended up using paracord to tie off the umbilical cord. So anyways, that's pretty wild story. But yeah, so carry paracord. You never know what you may need it for. Now this is one of those that if you're just going on a quick hunt for the day with your buddies, this is not entirely necessary. But if you're going on a multi-day hunt with guys, you got to have this, and especially if you're going to be doing anything where you're out in the woods for extended time. This is a dry bag from Outdoor Research, but in here though I've got some base layers. And once again, if you are, let's say you're soaking wet, you know, it's rained, you've had to cross water, being able to put on a base layer that's dry and get some rest that night or whatever, that's a big deal. So you know, just because it's July, don't think that you don't need to bring base layers. On the inside here, I've also got an extra pair of underwear and socks. Wet underwear, wet socks are just awful, so you don't want to have to deal with that. So make sure you have some extra underwear, extra socks in your hunting bag. A lot of times, even if I'm going on a day hunt with my buddies, I'll still usually pack in some socks. A little bit of food. This is one of those deals where it depends on how long you're going to be out. You know, you can really get by for a while without food. This is 500 calories right here at Cliff Bars. It's just enough to get you by for a day and a half or so if you really had to. Now, this right here is a ghillie hood from Tactical Concealment, And this is one of those things that I really like to use. I like to use it whenever I'm coyote hunting, but I also like to have it on hand because you never know if you want extra camouflage, if you need to blend into your environment. Also, once again, if somebody's trying to look at you with thermal, you can use it to defeat thermal, and you can use it to cover you up and create that human blind, you know, if you need to. But it's a great thing to have on hand, handmade in America. Just a great company, great quality product. So, you know, I like to have it on hand. It's not one of those things that's 100% necessary, and it does take up some room in my bag, but I'm a fan, and I recommend you look into them. A pair of rain pants. So I've got a rain jacket outside, and I've got some rain pants. Once again, being soaking wet isn't fun, so having a pair of pants I can put on that's rainproof is a big deal. So now I've kind of gone through some of the more boring stuff, but honestly some of the most important stuff. Let's talk about a few things that I have left that's up here at the top. Now, I'm going to flip the bag around really quickly so you can look at it like this. But as you can see, I'll go right to left here. So I've got a couple mags here. These are all for my 77 grain load because I know what my dope is with that gun. And so I carry 2 extra mags. So I've got one in my gun, I've got one on my bino pack, and I've got 2 in here. So, you know, that gives me 100 because I pack 28 rounds into each one, so that gives me like 112 rounds total, something like that. But anyways, just you know, if I'm going hunting, maybe if I'm hog hunting I'll bring this much ammo, but you know, this is, once again, I'm kind of showing you a scenario where you're not just worried about hunting. You know, maybe you're doing something else too. So anyway, so I've got extra mags. I've got an extra pistol mag right here. Even though I don't have a pistol with me today, I can always throw something else in here if I need to, but I've just got a pistol mag in here just to show you kind of what you got. I've got a pair of gloves. Gloves are essential. You got to be able to protect your hands if you're out in the woods, working on something, shooting your gun gets hot. Having a pair of gloves is huge. I've got a Sharpie. I've got some trauma shears, so this kit goes with my med kit, and you know, you can use it to do other things as well. Now, one of the most important parts of my kit that I've got here in my bag, and I would say nowadays it's a necessity, and that's a thermal. This is the Oasis Skeeter IRL. Guys, I know thermal's not cheap, and I realize that a lot of you probably do have a thermal. The more people have them nowadays, but a lot of you probably just have one, and it's probably mounted on your rifle. You really need to have a scanner, one that you can take off and you can use to observe, see around you. And this one's actually a 3-in-1. It can be a scope, it can be a scanner. This one can mount on my helmet, or I can also mount in front of my gun as a clip-on device. But you know, they're great for hunting, but also if you look at the conflicts today, I mean, in Ukraine, everybody has thermal. If you don't have a thermal, you're going to be behind. You're not going to be able to see what's coming at you. So nowadays, it's a necessity. You've got to have a thermal. And also, I would say, I know the cheaper Chinese stuff, I'm not going to say any brand names, but I know they're appealing because they have some nice, really good quality 640 cores. But you also got to think about durability. You know, this one's not going to have as good of a resolution as those thermals, but the fact is, though, is this one is military quality. It is durable. It's got a metal housing. I know that it is going to be able to take a hit. So you've also got to think about that too. You know, resolution is great, but you've also got to have a device that's actually going to last and not fail you when you're in the field. So you got to have a thermal. There's just no way around it. That's another nice thing about the fact that I carry that jacket in the front flap. It acts like some protection for it, and then my rain jacket does too. So whenever I close up the bag, it really does help protect it. Lastly, I've got a multi-tool. So this is a Leatherman Mutt. It's a really good quality multi-tool. I've got a saw, a knife, different things that I may need, but also it's kind of designed to be as an AR tool as well. So it's got some of those really helpful tools for ARs. And so yeah, always have a multi-tool. Guys, that's pretty much it as far as my bag is concerned. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. Just make sure you get a good quality bag. You know, ATS is a great company. There's other good companies out there too, and also think about how much stuff you're going to carry. If I was going to be out in the field, you know, for 3 days plus, I'm going to need a bigger bag overall. I'm going to need to be able to carry more gear. If you're somebody who's hunting and you carry a lot of hunting gear, this bag may be too small for you. But regardless, though, I hope that you take some time to think about not just the firearms side of things, but everything else that goes with it. Because if you want to be a protector, you've got to be prepared, you've got to be equipped. So guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any recommendations, let me know. This is I'm not saying you have to have all this, but this is kind of the baseline of what you need to start considering and what you should start doing to prepare yourself. So thanks for watching. Go to basefarmresources.com, buy a suppressor. Thanks guys.